Did you know that intelligent people are often seen as a threat by society? Arthur Schopenhauer believed this wasn't just a coincidence. It was inevitable, he famously said. The more unintelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him. Think about it. Truly intelligent people don't just accept things as they are. They question, analyze, and see through the comforting illusions that most people rely on. They ask the uncomfortable questions that force others to think deeper, often challenging the status quo. But here's the unsettling truth. Society doesn't celebrate these people. It fears them. Instead of admiration, they often face isolation. Instead of support, they are met with resistance. Schopenhauer warned that this happens because most people would rather live in a comfortable lie than confront a difficult truth. In this video, I'll reveal why intelligent people make society uncomfortable, how Schopenhauer predicted this reaction centuries ago, and what it means for those who dare to think differently. So here's the real question. Does your intelligence set you free, or does it make you a target? Imagine walking into a crowded room. Everyone is chatting, laughing, and discussing the latest trends, gossip, or sports scores. The conversations are light, easy, and predictable. You listen, but something feels off. You want to ask deeper questions, bring up ideas that matter, or explore topics that challenge the mind, but you hesitate. You know that if you speak up, you might be met with blank stares, uncomfortable silence, or even judgment. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that this feeling wasn't uncommon for intelligent people. He argued that truly intelligent individuals experience the world differently, often finding themselves out of sync with the crowd. While most people are satisfied with surface-level conversations and simple pleasures, intelligent minds naturally search for depth, meaning, and truth. Schopenhauer once said, "The more unintelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him." This quote perfectly captures the divide between those who accept the world at face value and those who can't help but dig deeper. For intelligent people, life is filled with mysteries. They don't just see a sunset, they wonder about the science behind it, the beauty it inspires, and the fleeting nature of time. They don't just accept societal norms, they question why these norms exist and whether they truly serve a purpose. But this deeper perspective often creates a sense of separation. Schopenhauer observed that when you see the world differently, it can feel like you're living in a parallel reality. You might notice contradictions in what people say and do, recognize patterns in behavior that others miss, or feel the weight of questions that most people avoid entirely. For example, when others are content with following traditions, intelligent people might ask, why do we do this? When a group agrees on a particular opinion, they might wonder, is this really true, or are we just following the herd? And while society often rewards those who fit in, Schopenhauer argued that intelligent people often find these rewards hollow. He said, "Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world." Intelligent individuals often push against these limits. They look beyond what is immediately visible and question what lies beyond. But this can be a lonely path. The more they explore the unknown, the more they realize how much remains unseen by others. This gap in understanding can create isolation, not because intelligent people want to be isolated, but because their curiosity pulls them away from the familiar and into the unknown. Imagine a painter in a room full of people who are all colorblind. While everyone else agrees that the walls are simply gray, the painter sees subtle shades of blue, green, and violet. When they try to share this vision, others might dismiss it, not because the colors aren't real, but because they can't see them. For the painter, this experience is both a gift and a curse. The beauty they see is profound, but the isolation from those who can't see it is real. Schopenhauer believed that this dynamic plays out in everyday life for intelligent people. They see possibilities and truths that others miss, but this also makes them appear different, strange, or even threatening. When someone questions the norm, it can make those who are comfortable with the status quo feel uneasy. And in many cases, society chooses comfort over truth, preferring familiar ignorance to unsettling knowledge. But Schopenhauer did not see this as a reason to stop searching for truth. Instead, he believed that the discomfort intelligent people feel is a sign of their strength. They are not content with illusions. They would rather face uncomfortable truths than live in blissful ignorance. And while this path is difficult, Schopenhauer saw it as the only path that leads to genuine understanding and freedom. He said, "It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else." For intelligent people, this quote is not just a reminder, but a challenge. It suggests that true satisfaction comes not from fitting in or being understood by others, but from finding peace in one's own mind, embracing the mysteries of life and continuing to explore even when the world chooses to look away. Imagine being in a crowded room where everyone seems to understand each other perfectly. Conversations flow, laughter fills the air, and there is a sense of ease in every interaction. But you feel a step removed, as if you are watching a scene from behind a glass wall. You try to join in, to share your thoughts, but the moment you speak, the energy shifts. Your insights, deeper or more complex than expected, create a silence. A pause where words usually flow. People might smile politely, but you can sense the distance growing. You are not rejected outright, but you know you do not fully belong. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that this experience was a common one for truly intelligent individuals. He argued that those who see the world differently often find themselves isolated, not because they want to be, but because their perspective creates a natural barrier. They do not share the same illusions that give others comfort. They cannot find satisfaction in shallow conversations or empty routines. Schopenhauer described this isolation with sharp clarity. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is truly free. For Schopenhauer, solitude was not just a state of being alone, it was a refuge, a place where intelligent people could escape the demands of a world that often misunderstands them. In solitude, they find the freedom to think, to create, and to explore without judgment. It is in this quiet space that their minds can roam freely, connecting ideas, questioning norms, and discovering truths that the noise of society drowns out. But this isolation is not without pain. Intelligent people often long for connection, for understanding, and for the simple comfort of being seen. They might try to bridge the gap, to share their insights or invite others into their world, but too often their words are met with confusion or indifference. They might be told they are overthinking things, being too serious, or trying too hard. These responses are not necessarily meant to harm, but they reveal a fundamental gap in understanding. Schopenhauer believed that this gap was not just about intelligence, but about perception. He argued that intelligent individuals see the world with a clarity that others might find unsettling. They notice the contradictions, the hypocrisies, and the fragility of the social constructs that most people accept without question. This ability to see beyond the facade makes them a mirror for others, reflecting truths that are often uncomfortable. And not everyone wants to look into that mirror, he said. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. This quote highlights a harsh reality. Society often prefers comfort over truth, simplicity over complexity, and entertainment over enlightenment. Intelligent people who naturally gravitate towards deeper understanding and critical thinking may find themselves at odds with this preference. They might struggle to find an audience for their ideas, not because their insights lack value, but because they challenge the comfortable narratives that most people cling to. This creates a paradox for intelligent individuals. They possess knowledge and perspective that could benefit society, but sharing it can lead to isolation. They might feel torn between the desire to connect and the need to remain true to themselves. Many choose silence, not out of fear, but out of a recognition that their voice might not find a place in the chorus of conventionality. Schopenhauer understood this choice and framed it as a kind of strength. To him, choosing solitude over shallow connection was a sign of integrity. It meant valuing truth over acceptance and authenticity over popularity. He believed that this solitude, while difficult, was where intelligent people found their real power. In the quiet, they could cultivate ideas, develop their art, and create works that might not be understood today, but could influence tomorrow. The more intelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him. This insight reveals why intelligent people often appear distant or detached. They are not disconnected from life, but rather deeply connected to its underlying truths. They see through the mysteries that others find comforting, which can make them seem out of step with the world around them. Their calm in the face of uncertainty can be mistaken for aloofness, their curiosity for arrogance. But Schopenhauer did not view this detachment as a flaw. He saw it as a necessary distance that allowed intelligent individuals to maintain their perspective. It was this distance that enabled them to observe society objectively, to question what others accepted, and to create new ideas that could lead to progress. He believed that while society might not always value these voices, history often proved them right. For intelligent people, the challenge is not just to endure isolation, but to find strength in it. It is to recognize that their solitude is not a sign of failure, but a mark of authenticity. Schopenhauer argued that those who can embrace this solitude without bitterness find a deeper form of freedom. They learn to value their own company, to trust their own thoughts, and to find fulfillment in their own creations. This path is not an easy one. It requires resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to find meaning without external validation. But Schopenhauer believed it was the only path that led to true independence. He warned that those who fear solitude might never truly know themselves, and those who seek only acceptance might never truly be free. In the end, Schopenhauer's message to intelligent individuals was clear. Society might not understand you, it might even fear you, but your ability to see beyond the surface is your greatest strength. Your solitude, while difficult, is also where your freedom lies. And while your path might be lonelier than most, it is also where the potential to see, to create, and to change the world exists. Intelligent people often find themselves on the outskirts of social circles, not because they are unwilling to engage, but because their perspective sets them apart. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that this separation was not merely a social inconvenience, but a natural consequence of seeing the world with greater clarity. When you perceive the deeper patterns of life, the hidden motives behind actions, and the flaws in societal structures, it becomes challenging to fully immerse yourself in the everyday flow of conversations and interactions. Schopenhauer argued that true intelligence often leads to a kind of quiet rebellion against the norms and expectations of society. While most people find comfort in routines, traditions, and shared beliefs, intelligent individuals often view these as constructs useful, perhaps, but not sacred. They are not easily swayed by popular opinion or the latest trend. Instead, they question, analyze, and seek understanding at a level that can make others uncomfortable. Schopenhauer wrote, "Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world." This quote highlights a fundamental divide. For many, the world is a fixed place, a set of rules and realities that guide everyday life. For intelligent people, the world is more like a puzzle with missing pieces. They recognize that what most people see as reality is only a fraction of the truth. They are constantly looking beyond the obvious, exploring new ideas, and challenging the status quo. This depth of thought, while valuable, often leads to misunderstanding and isolation. Schopenhauer believed that society maintains its cohesion by encouraging conformity. Those who think differently, who question deeply, can disrupt this balance. When an intelligent person challenges a widely held belief, it is not just the belief that feels threatened, but the sense of security that comes with it. People might react defensively, not because the intelligent person is wrong, but because accepting a new perspective requires effort and courage, qualities that not everyone is prepared to embrace. The isolation that intelligent people experience is not just physical or social. It is also deeply emotional. They might find it difficult to share their thoughts, not because they lack the words, but because they doubt whether anyone will truly understand them. They may feel as if they speak a different language, one filled with nuance and complexity, while those around them respond with oversimplified answers. Over time, this gap in understanding can create a profound sense of loneliness. Schopenhauer described this phenomenon through his observations of human behavior. He noted that those who pursue truth and depth often find themselves walking a solitary path, while others gather around shared experiences and collective narratives. Intelligent individuals build their worlds from books, art, and solitary reflection. They create inner landscapes that are rich and complex, but difficult to translate into the social world. He explained, The more intelligent a man is, the more originality he finds in men. Ordinary people see no difference between men. This idea suggests that intelligent people do not just see the world differently, they also see people differently. They recognize individuality, hidden motivations, and the subtleties of human behavior. This can make everyday interactions feel shallow, as if they are constantly engaging only with the surface level of other personalities. They may crave deeper connections but struggle to find them, leading to a cycle of withdrawal and solitude. Yet Schopenhauer did not see this solitude as a curse. He believed it was a necessary space where intelligent people could explore their thoughts without compromise. In solitude, they are not pressured to simplify their ideas or conform to expectations. They can follow their curiosity wherever it leads, diving into complex topics and creating new insights. For Schopenhauer, this was not just a way to cope with isolation, but a path to true freedom. This freedom, however, comes with its own challenges. The quiet of solitude can sometimes amplify feelings of doubt. Without external validation, intelligent people may question the value of their ideas. They might wonder if their isolation is a sign of failure rather than a choice of strength. Schopenhauer understood this internal conflict, advising, "Solitude is the fate of all great minds, a fate sometimes deplored, always accepted as inevitable." Accepting solitude means embracing both its gifts and its burdens. It means finding strength in independence and learning to be content with one's own company. Intelligent people often develop rich inner lives filled with creativity, thought, and self-reflection. They become their own source of fulfillment, drawing inspiration from within rather than relying on the external world for validation. Schopenhauer believed that this self-sufficiency was not just a coping mechanism, but a profound form of power. When you do not need the approval of others to feel whole, you become free to explore your full potential. You can think, create, and live authentically without the constraints of societal expectation. He saw this as the ultimate form of freedom, a state of being that allows intelligent people to contribute to the world in unique and meaningful ways. Despite the isolation, intelligent people often find ways to share their insights, not always directly, but through their work, whether it is art, writing, philosophy, or invention. Schopenhauer noted that many of history's greatest minds were not celebrated in their time. Their ideas were often too advanced, too challenging for their contemporaries. But over time, as society evolved and new generations emerged, these once isolated voices became beacons of wisdom. Their solitude, initially a barrier, became a bridge connecting the past to the future. Schopenhauer's philosophy offers a path forward for intelligent individuals who struggle with isolation. He encourages them to find comfort in their solitude, to use it as a time for growth and discovery. Rather than seeing their isolation as a barrier, they can view it as an opportunity to explore depths that others might never reach. In this space, they can cultivate their ideas, refine their thoughts, and prepare to share them when the time is right. Ultimately, Schopenhauer believed that intelligent people are not just outsiders, they are pioneers. Their ability to see beyond the surface, to think independently, and to endure solitude gives them the power to lead, to innovate, and to change the world. While society might not always understand or appreciate them, history often does. The very qualities that isolate them in the present can make them voices of wisdom and clarity for the future. Their journey is not an easy one, but it is a path filled with the potential to create lasting impact and find a deeper, more authentic sense of fulfillment. Arthur Schopenhauer understood a truth that still resonates today. Intelligent people often walk a lonely path, not because they choose to, but because their depth and insight make others uncomfortable. Their ability to see beyond the surface challenges the comfortable illusions that society builds around itself. Instead of being celebrated, their intelligence is often met with resistance, misunderstanding, or even fear. But Schopenhauer also believed that this solitude is not a curse. It is a sign of strength. It offers freedom, a space to think deeply, create boldly, and live authentically. While society may fear those who see the world differently, history shows that it is often these very individuals who spark progress, innovation, and change. So here is the real question. Are you willing to embrace the discomfort of thinking differently, even if it means standing alone?